Have you ever been so captivated by someone's journey that you find yourself cheering them on, hoping against hope that they'll succeed? Well, get ready to meet Lee Jun Jae, the man who has all the odds stacked against him. He's poor, he's got health issues, and people keep trying to push him around. But this guy doesn't back down. In fact, he turns the tables and flips their expectations like a pro. Want to know how? Keep watching because his story is just getting started. Imagine this. You're minding your own business when suddenly you get slapped in the face. Yeah, I know, shocking, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to our man, Lee Jun Jae. But hold up, why, you ask? Well, apparently there's a rumor going around that he's got something called the Midas touch. What's that, you might say? Basically, everything he does turns to gold. And let me tell you, that's not just good luck, it's genius. See, this all started when Jun Jae decided to quit his job at a big company and strike out on his own. It was a bold move, but he had a vision, a plan to turn things around and make a real impact. But some folks didn't like his ideas, especially his boss, Jang Tae-oh. This guy thought he was hot stuff, always trying to belittle and criticize Jun Jae. It was like a never-ending game of catch me if you can. But Jun Jae wasn't about to be left behind. He had a secret weapon, his wits. You see, Jun Jae wasn't just any ordinary guy. He had a knack for turning the tables and making those who underestimated him pay dearly for it. And that's where the legend of the Midas touch came in. Whenever Jun Jae was faced with a challenge, he seemed to have a way of turning it into an opportunity. It was like he had a sixth sense for spotting potential where others saw nothing but obstacles. And before long, everyone was talking about it. The Midas touch became a symbol of his ability to turn everything he touched into gold. Now, this caught the attention of Jang Tae-oh, his former boss, who was desperate to get back at him. So he hatched a plan to destroy Jun Jae's reputation. He spread rumors about him, trying to discredit him and ruin his chances of success. But little did Jang know that Jun Jae wasn't the kind of person to back down. In fact, he took these rumors and turned them into his biggest asset, using them to motivate him to prove everyone wrong. One day, Jang decides to confront Jun Jae directly, thinking he could scare him off. But what he didn't expect was Jun Jae's response. Instead of backing down, Jun Jae stood his ground and hit back, exposing Jang's dirty secrets and turning the tables on him. Everyone was shocked to see Jun Jae standing up for himself, and it was clear that Jang had made a huge mistake. But it wasn't just Jang who underestimated Jun Jae. His mother was worried sick about her son's decision to quit his job and go out on his own. She thought he was throwing away his future, but she soon realized that he was onto something big. Jun Jae's determination and confidence were contagious, and soon enough, he had everyone on his side. As time went on, Jun Jae's reputation grew, and he became known as the Midas touch, not just for his business acumen, but also for his ability to overcome any obstacle that came his way. People looked up to him and respected him for his resilience and determination. Years passed, and Jun Jae's story became a thing of legend. People talked about how he took risks, faced challenges head-on, and came out on top. They couldn't understand how he managed to turn every setback into a success, but they were eager to learn from him. Jun Jae became a mentor to many, sharing his wisdom and experience with anyone who was willing to listen. He showed them how to identify opportunities, take calculated risks, and never, ever give up. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Even though people admired Jun Jae, some of them were envious too. They couldn't believe that he had the Midas touch while they struggled to make ends meet. They felt like he had something they didn't, some secret ingredient that made everything he did turn to gold. But the truth was, there was no secret. Jun Jae had worked hard to earn his success. He took risks, learned from his mistakes, and never lost sight of his goals. As Jun Jae continued to grow and succeed, more and more people wanted to be like him. They wanted to know what made him so special, what allowed him to turn every obstacle into an opportunity. Jun Jae knew that he couldn't keep his methods to himself forever. He wanted to share his wisdom with the world and help others achieve their dreams too. So he decided to write a book about his experiences and the lessons he learned along the way. The book was an instant hit. People from all over the world read his story and marveled at his ability to turn every setback into a success. They learned how to think outside the box, take risks, and never give up on their dreams. Jun Jae became a household name, and his book was translated into dozens of languages. People from all walks of life read his story and were inspired to make changes in their own lives. But Jun Jae didn't stop there. He went on to start a foundation that helped underprivileged children pursue their education and gave back to the community that had supported him through thick and thin. He knew that true success wasn't just about making money or achieving fame. It was about making a difference in the world and leaving it better than you found it. As the years passed, Jun Jae's legacy continued to grow. People still talked about how he took risks, faced challenges head-on, and came out on top. They marveled at his ability to turn every setback into a success and wondered what made him so special. But the answer was simple. Jun Jae wasn't born with anything. He was just a regular guy who had big dreams and was willing to work hard to achieve them. He took risks, learned from his mistakes, and never lost sight of his goals. And in doing so, he inspired millions of people around the world to do the same. To this day, people look up to Jun Jae and remember him as the man who had the Midas touch. He may be gone, but his story and his lessons live on, reminding us that we all have the power to make our dreams come true if we're willing to put in the effort and never give up. This is a story of a man named Lee Jun Jae, a man who had a dream to become an actor but was told he'd never make it because he was too short. But did that stop him? No. He took his small stature and turned it into an advantage. He became known for playing the underdog, the small guy who takes on the big bad guys and wins. His portrayal of these characters was so convincing that he won the hearts of millions of viewers. But Jun Jae's journey wasn't easy. He faced countless obstacles and rejections, but he never gave up on his dream. He knew that his height might be a disadvantage to some, but he was determined to prove everyone wrong. And he did just that. Not only did Jun Jae become one of the most successful actors in the industry, but he also became a role model for those who had been told they couldn't make it because of their height. He proved that with hard work, dedication, and a positive attitude, anything is possible. Do you know someone who has defied the odds and achieved their dreams despite the challenges they faced? Share their story in the comments below, and let us continue to inspire each other to reach for our goals no matter how tall we are.